Good afternoon. This is John Ryan of sportsmemo.com. It's February the 8th, 2021. Feeling a little tired today after a huge Sunday that was just very exciting, and it always is. It's a lot of fun. Ate way too much, drank way too much, but man, I'm ready to do it again. Maybe not tonight, but next weekend. I did have the Bucks. I've been fortunate enough to have the horseshoe in the right place in these Super Bowls. I'm 18-5 in the
Wow.
Super Bowl over 26 years. But I didn't need any luck in this one. This one won pretty easily. Um, I did lose a 5%er on Villanova by a point and a half. I offset that with a win on the Phoenix Suns, taking care of Boston before the Super Bowl started. And, things are just rolling very, very well right now. I'm very pleased with the results. All sports are hitting it at 70% and higher over the last 15 or 25 or 35 picks over at sportsmemo.com. So go over there and check it out. And any of those guys over there are excellent. They're just like Albert, who is with me today, and I'm sure Albert had a, a very good day yesterday as well. He's probably more disciplined with the food consumption and the drinking consumption than I was. But how's it going today?
What's up, John? You're right. So I didn't drink that much last night because it was I had to be on my good behavior because it was my dad's birthday. But we ate a ton. I'm eating it today, right, for leftovers. Super Bowl Sunday is always a day to indulge. I guess just a recap for my guys for Super Bowl. We hit the under, which was nice. I love the under there all week. To the great offenses, I just wanted to contrarian bet that, and under worked out for me. We had a preseason futures bet on the Bucks already at plus 1600. So I organically hedged a little bit. I mean, I did believe in the play, but it ended up being profitable no matter the outcome. So I did do Kansas Chiefs money line and the under. Obviously, it went 1-1. The Bucks just destroyed them first half and second half. Kansas City's offensive line was just overmatched by just a four-man rush all day long. So with that being said, the Super Bowl was pretty even for us, but it was a very strange day because all of the action happened before basically 5 p.m., right? So college basketball, hockey, and NBA were all three profitable. We missed on one NBA yesterday. I already forgot it. I just let losses out of my mind and only remember the wins, I guess. But it ended up being a pretty good day.
Yeah, it sounds awesome, Albert. It really does. I mean, if anybody wants to see the research report I provide to my clients, the premium service, I'll be glad to do it. Just send me a DM. It's pretty extensive. It's probably 2 pages long, but the machine learning was spot on. I must admit, I was very pleased with how it predicted certain points of the game. One of which was that Tampa Bay would have 14 and a half yards per point ratio in the game or lower. So the lower that ratio goes, the more efficient the offense becomes. They came in at the end of the game, their ratio was 10.9, which is incredibly good. And also that turnovers would be equal or that Tampa Bay would have fewer. And we all know the result of that. So that put Tampa Bay into a huge, I believe it was 89% situation to cover the spread. And with the skinny spread of 3, in most Super Bowls, you identify the winner. You also win the spread. You win
Exactly.
both, straight up and against the spread. So I didn't. I've been hearing today some. I'll go on a limb, Albert. Like moaning about the officiating, and granted, I mean sometimes we look through rose-colored glasses, but I got to believe that was a Kansas City bettors that thought this was going to be a walk in the park, and it wasn't. I thought in the beginning of the game that I even said to the guests I had over at the house that Kansas City was kind of chippy on defense. It wasn't the same type of defense I'm used to seeing from them. And they were holding the jerseys multiple times before the refs started calling it. So, granted, I believe it was a Super Bowl record for most penalties in a half, but they kind of brought it on themselves, in my opinion. I thought the female officiator did a wonderful job, for the first time, and the pressure that is involved with that. And I didn't think the officiating was any cause to what happened out there. I mean, we'll never know the situation with Coach Reed's son's impact on the team. Um, we just don't. We'll never be able to know, and it's no use even speculating on that. We'll just let the bigger media outlets try to take a guess at what impact that might have had. Um, but what did you think of the officiating?
Yeah, I would say this. I mean, even if you believe the officiating was one-sided, and if you look at the yards and the number of penalties, it looks that way. I don't think it would have changed the outcome. It probably would have made the game closer. That touchdown before the first half maybe shouldn't have happened. It still would have been 17-6 going into the second half with Tampa Bay just dominating, and I don't think the outcome would have changed. I think the better team won. The team that's been hyped and has been public all year long hasn't covered at all year. And this, I mean, this wasn't different for them. Usually they get down late and then come back. This time they got down late and got down early and didn't come back. So they've been playing with fire all year long. And the fact that they did it in the biggest stage at the wrong time, I mean, what Bill Parcells says, I mean, I reign true. You are what your record is, or you are what your team is. You can't just always play the perception game. And so they are a team that notoriously gets down early every single game and requires a crazy comeback to get back and win the game. This time they got down early, which is normal, and just didn't have a comeback because the better team just played better in the second half.
There was a lot of finger pointing in that second quarter too, and that's always the beginning of the unraveling when that occurs between, especially at the professional level, among the defense. But if coaches were allowed to get the MVP award, Todd Bowles, I mean, what more can you say about him? That defense just. Their attitude was, even after a couple of nice plays there to start the second half by the Chiefs, the defense just didn't give in. They were just like, okay, well, whatever, bring it on. And sooner or later, we're going to make you punt. You're not going to score. And they were just so in the moment. Like, they were unrattled. And it was just I just enjoy games like that. I mean, it's always better to win, of course, when you have a little bet on the game. But I appreciated the whole moment that was going on in that situation. And my favorite play, Albert, and then we'll move on to some NBA, was Gronkowski's first touchdown. I actually jumped out of my chair, and that's very uncharacteristic of me. I'm pretty laid back, and of course I'll clap and I'll say, "Oh yeah, it's good, man." But when Gronkowski did it, I just was like, man, I mean, what a story that is. And I know people out there, they don't care for him, they don't care for Brady and everything else. But at this point now, there is no debate. He is the GOAT. He and Gronkowski have scored the most touchdowns. They took over Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, which I loved to have watched when I was a kid. And that should be the end of the debate, And then if you hate him, just appreciate what he has done and what he's done for the game at this point. And he's going to be back. That's the crazy thing. He's going to be 44 and probably accepting his 8th one.
Yeah,
anyway,
honestly, if Mahomes had somehow won yesterday and the tally would be 6 Brady and 2 Mahomes, you can make an argument that maybe Mahomes could catch up eventually in his career. But this 7-1 discrepancy, it's almost impossible. But I mean, who knows, right? Mahomes is still under 25. He still has 10, 15 years left of prime, barring any injuries, but we'll see. I was very impressed with Tampa Bay's defense. You're right. Todd Bowles was very impressive, and holding the Kansas City Chiefs offense down like that is nothing short of extraordinary. But I would say, Gronkowski hadn't shown that type of explosiveness all year long. There was a catch in the middle of the field where he almost broke it. he hadn't shown that burst all year, and it looked like he was saving everything he had for last night, and it worked out. Same with Brady. The second touchdown pass to Gronk, that was a laser. I mean,
Oh,
I
it
hadn't
was.
seen Brady. Yeah, Brady didn't throw like that all year long until that pass, and he let it rip. And he threw it late, and it was still wide open. That's when he still has the velocity. He still has the power in that arm.
Yep. Um, I did have some futures already for next year, but let's move. We'll do that tomorrow. I mean, it's way too early to look at that next year, but just for the chat room, the Bucks are listed at 9-1 for being repeating, and they have now. No, they're still in second. Kansas City's 5-1.
I guess
So
one last thing. Yeah, one last thing for the Super Bowl. What was your favorite prop bet going in, and did it win or lose?
my favorite prop bet going in was two of them. The one was the defensive touchdown by the Tampa Bay Bucks, which did not occur. I bet that both to be the first score by the Bucks and also at any point during the game. And then I had Tampa Bay minus 10.5 at plus 650. I had Tampa Bay minus 17.5, and I actually forget what that was. It was a lot.
Yeah,
Um, and
nice
that
hit.
offset. Well, it offset the other ones that lost.
Yeah,
What were the?
favorite prop bet going into last night was Darrell Williams under 8.5 carries, and it was never in doubt. I just knew that there was a timeshare happening. I didn't know that the game was going to go like that, where they were going to get down very early and down big very early. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire was the one that Andy Reid featured, and that's what I expected. And it was good to see that prop bet come to fruition.
Yeah, he only had 2 carries, 5 yards, and he wasn't too good catching the ball either. 7 targets, only 2 catches. So it wasn't just the referees with a bad call. But I did want to say we got Iris Silver in the house, live from the Bahamas. That bum. He went to the Bahamas to watch the Super Bowl. I'm sitting here in getting 8 inches of snow, and he's in the Bahamas, and then he comes into the chat room now to say hi. What a guy! What a guy! It's great to have him in here too. And Ira, make sure you travel safe getting back to that terrible place called Miami where you reside. I really Albert and I feel sorry for you having to put up with that kind of weather all the time. It's terrible.
Yeah, he's
All right.
just winning at life right now.
I just became more tired from yesterday's activity, thinking about him laying on a beach. Anyway, let's go to the NBA here because there are some pretty interesting games going tonight. I wanted to get your take on the Golden State San Antonio game, mainly because we touched upon that last week, because this is the beginning of 2 games in a row at San Antonio, and they just finished, I believe, the 2 games at Dallas, was it?
Correct.
So that's a 4-game road trip with only 2 stops, which has never been done, and it's because of the COVID. But do you have any thoughts on this game tonight?
Yeah, so the Warriors just played Dallas last Thursday and last Saturday in Dallas. They went 1-1, but they covered both games. So they're 2-0 against the spread. They come into tonight as 1.5 point dogs. I love the Spurs. I love the Spurs tonight. I think they've always been undervalued. Curry had about 60 points on Saturday, so I think everyone's going to remember that and react to that type of performance, and it was amazing. But I do like the Spurs. That's probably going to be a premium play.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I like them quite a bit too. I think they win by double digits, and hopefully it won't be close. San Antonio is 40-16 against the number, revenging a loss where the opponent scored 110 or more points in these revenge situations over the last 3 seasons, and that's pretty good stuff. One other one is 13-2 against the number, revenging a blowout loss, which that loss was over 20 points in revenge situations like this one in games in the last 3 seasons. So really, really good stuff. I was hoping, because we didn't talk about this before we came on the show, and it's fun to do it that way because it's not, I can pick a game. What do you think of this game? Well, I hate it. Well, that's fine. We'll move on to the next one. But anyway, I think San Antonio takes care of this one. And really, if they win it by double digits, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm on them again in the next matchup. Um, Looking at the other games here, Washington versus Chicago. Okay, so Washington, arguably worst record team. Certainly, there's no argument there. Is this a market situation where maybe Chicago has outperformed now for a long enough period of time where the market has them too rich and Washington is too cheap, and this is a chance to take Washington on the road as a 2.5 point favorite, which naturally doesn't seem like near enough points. But I kind of have a lean here on Washington. I was wondering if you shared that view.
I think you misspoke. You meant Washington 2.5 point dogs, right? Underdogs.
Oh yes, yes, yep. I
Yeah,
did.
I
I
mean,
did.
I agree with you. I think Chicago, honestly, they've been playing really well. They've been covering a lot against a lot of good teams on the road and at home. One person that's missing tonight is a big piece for them is Lauri Markkanen. He's been playing great. He's been in and out of the lineup, but when he's in, he's been very, very productive. He is out tonight. On the other side, contrastingly, we have Russell Westbrook out for the Wizards. So it's hard. Again, like I think I've mentioned this many times in the past. I don't like handicapping to news. Like that's not my style, right? I'm more analytics based. I cap them if they're full strength. So it's really hard 5-on-5 game with one really important player out. So most likely this is a no touch for me, but I can see the argument that you make that Chicago might be a little overvalued right now. Washington might be a little undervalued. For me, it's just too tough to call pre-flop. Maybe a position during the game.
Yeah, I see the news on the shoulder injury with Markkinen, but I think he's had a run. If I remember my data right, of more than 10 games of having a plus minus being a plus. In other words, like, to your point, when whatever minutes he gets, the results really help the team. And that's pretty good stuff because I've been seeing James Harden get triple doubles and he has a negative plus minus, which doesn't happen very often. But that isn't a totally another story.
Yeah.
Any other NBA you want to look at, Albert?
Right now, I think Spurs is a very strong play. I'm leaning Nuggets. I'm leaning Grizzlies, but I need to dive into those games a little more. The Nuggets are playing the Bucks today. The Bucks obviously have a great team. They're on the road. I believe it's the third game in 4 nights, so they're most likely tired. They're the public team tonight, and they're holding firm at 4. Favorites of 4 points, but I like Nuggets. It's tough to play a Mile High. It's tough to play there ending a road trip. I think the value there is with the Nuggets. And then on the Grizzlies game, they're playing the Raptors at home. I think the Grizzlies are just rolling right now. They only have 1 loss in the last, I believe, 8 or 9 games. A lot of that was before the 2-week hiatus, but I think post hiatus at 3-4 or something like that. So I think they're playing really well. I think they play really well at home as well. They're just a really scrappy young team that doesn't get blown out very often. So I do like the value there against the Raptors.
Yeah, it's good. Should we? I agree with you on that one firmly. Should we make that a? I'm willing to make that a show pick here. So we have the Spurs and the Grizzlies.
Sure.
Spurs and the Grizzlies. And for those that are listening for the first time, we're going to use the closing line instead of the line now because there's really no fair way to evaluate our plays unless we do it in this fashion. If you have an idea that's better, let us know. But it has to be consistent. And I think using the closing line is the fairest way to do it. There will be games that the line movement will move against us, and there are going to be games where it moves in our favor, and over time those are going to offset. And I know that for a fact because I've been doing this a long time. Let's move over to college hoops here if we have time. And I was looking at some of the bigger games. I'm not too much of a mid-major guy. However, I did play Buffalo in college hoops over the weekend, and that worked out pretty well. But there is one game I will just mention is that Austin P is on the road at Tennessee Martin, and I know anybody who knows these teams is probably throwing up right now and saying, "Why would you even want to bet on a dog like game like this one?" However, Tennessee Martinsville is getting plus 12 and a half. I think it's actually down to 11 and a half at most of the places. It's definitely lower than that. Tennessee Martin really, with all due respect, can't shoot the ball. I think their season average is about 29%. And that's not 29% from 3 point range, that's 29% overall. However, Austin P can't stop anybody. And they're allowing an effective field goal percentage opponents of it's over 56%. So I was thinking that maybe this is one of those situations too where the market just assumes that Tennessee Martin is just a dog with fleas, for lack of a better word. And every single time they come to play, it's going to be awful, and they're going to lose, and they're going to get killed, and they're not going to cover the spread. I actually think in this game, and I'll go out on a limb, and I will make this a show pick, even if you don't agree with it. I'll take full responsibility for it. But I think Tennessee Martin plus the points and a sprinkle on the money line is a pretty good bet tonight.
I like it. I don't have a specific position myself personally. I haven't looked at the college basketball slate. I had a heavy lean against UMBC this morning, but couldn't pull the trigger. I just don't like the first game of every slate. I've been basically 50% on those. So I'm trying to lay off on the first game and just wait until the rest of the night. So no major leans yet tonight. So I'm going to mark that down though, so I can look at it later, but I'm ready to talk about some hockey before we close.
Okay, let's do that.
All right. So hockey, there is one I like tonight. It is the Blues. I'm glad Ira is on so he can correct me if I'm wrong or not, but the Blues are coming off a 2-game losing streak. So this is a very weird situation. The Blues and the Coyotes, they're actually about to play their 4th game straight, like 4th game in a row against each other. The Blues won the first one, and the Coyotes won games 2 and 3 as heavy underdogs. And now they're playing the 4th game again as a heavy underdog. I'm going to take the favorite here with the Blues. I think it's a great bounce back spot for them. So that's my pick as of right now. Obviously, it's not official yet until the end, but you can mark that down, John, as a show play.
So we have Tennessee Martin, and then we also have the St. Louis Blues. I don't think Ira can type where he is. I hope he can hear this because he's probably drinking one of those drinks that has the umbrella in it. So he has to hold that and then make sure that the umbrella doesn't poke him in the eye or something. I mean, I don't see him being able to contribute much of any meaningful information at this moment. But I'm speculating that he's actually sitting at one of those what do they call them, piano bars that are in swimming pools.
Yeah,
I can just from just lounging, which I'm jealous as hell of, but my day will come. And so will yours.
Yes. But, yes. I've been stuck here in Dallas for a year now, so I can't wait to get out.
Anything else in hockey that you like?
That's the only one that really speaks out to me. The Blues, the Lightning also should win tonight, but it's hard to bet against the Predators. They're just a really live dog every single game, and they're at home. All the value to me is on the Predators, but the Lightning should win.
Yeah, Tampa Bay is obviously a mighty good team, and I can't disagree with that either. I'm going to quickly go back to college hoops here for another upset alert. Number 1, Gonzaga is playing BYU at BYU. It's way past my bedtime. It starts at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And BYU's getting 10.5, and it seems like there's some smart money coming in on that line too. So you can have situations where smart money and the public agree, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I think there's a possibility here too that we could wake up tomorrow, or for you guys on the West Coast, you'll see it for sure. We just might see an upset here. So I do like BYU in the points. And then the other big game tonight is Oklahoma State at Kansas. And I would caution you for those that like Kansas because Oklahoma State beat them in the first meeting. They're going to Kansas. That doesn't mean you don't go and look at the database like I can and find out that Kansas is incredible under Bill Self with revenge. This is one of the few times that Oklahoma State is actually coming into Kansas, having won the first of the two games. So I'm not really sold on the revenge factor here. Otherwise, I would be on Kansas. I just think this line is a little too low, and it's making me think that, wow, maybe Oklahoma State actually wins this game. What do you think, Albert?
Yeah, that's a tough call. I mean, I've been fading Kansas basically all year. I think they actually should have 2 to 3 more losses than they should. I think just off the top of my head, the game against West Virginia, they could have lost. The game in Texas Tech, they should have lost. So they're not a top 25 team. It's a blue blood, so I think everybody usually just bets a big school. But this one is hard. The line movement does scare me. It's open at 3.5. Now it's 6.5. Oklahoma State just coming off a great win in Texas where Kate Cunningham hit a few really big clutch shots against Texas. So the spot here is Kansas, but it's not something I would bet. I never really backed the blue bloods in college basketball, so I'm not going to do it tonight.
Yeah, that's good. That's good information, Albert. I like it because sometimes the best bet to make is the one that you don't make. You just don't force bets just for the action. Maybe the Super Bowl you do a little bit, but that's the discipline of the whole thing of grinding out these profits, which is what Albert and I believe in, and Ira, and Kyle, and Chris Wallace, who comes on our shows, 100%. And that's why we work together because we share that belief in trying to bring some education to all of you to help make all of you better bettors, including ourselves, because the exchange of information just that you hear and the stuff that you guys put in the chat room is all very meaningful to us, and thank you for that. So I think for today, Albert, I guess that's going to wrap it up.
Yeah, that ends everything from me. I do want to make an announcement. I launched my own YouTube channel as of today. We're going to have John, we're going to have Ira on the show eventually as well. But a lot of you guys who have been following me since day one, I've only been on Twitter for about 1.5 years, but I want to do more than just provide picks or provide plays. I want to give and create a platform where, I can share information, give you some real betting advice, give you some game analysis. And I think, this YouTube channel is going to help perpetuate that. And so I want to create one, have some people on as well, maybe have a couple, other sports media companies help produce my content so it looks nice for you guys. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited to just help move the industry forward. It's always been it's always had a negative connotation, and I think now it's time for the new generation who have all this information at their fingertips to take advantage of it and try to improve the industry. So yes, awesome. Check out my YouTube channel. It's the same Analytics Capper. You'll find 2 videos on there: the Daryl Williams prop bet that I have, and then just the intro video. So thank you in advance for subscribing.
Yeah, you bet. I've already subscribed myself. I can't wait. So I guess that'll do it for today. Albert will be on another day later this week. Wednesday will be Kyle Hunter of Hunter Sports Picks. And then tomorrow is going to be Ira Silver. I believe he has a flight later tonight, so hopefully he won't be too fatigued to attend the show. Otherwise, it might be me and somebody else. But it'll be a good show, and we'll do our best again. Thank you for listening. And for the Predictive Playbook, I'm John Ryan. And for Albert at Analytics Capper, have a great night.
Thank you, guys.